everybody. Sandy Wilkin here from Jackson, Ohio. Today I have my second black and white junk journal to share with you today. And I have my black and white necklace on. This is one of my creations that I do. I make steampunk style jewelry. So I thought since this is black and white, I'm going to show that also today. Well, anyway, this journal, I bought the actual journal itself. It's a 3-ring binder at a thrift store and was already this color. So all I did was add, I found this black and white words in a magazine. I thought, oh, that's great. So I cut that out and put it there, and I think it had recipes or something there. This might have been a recipe notebook. But anyway, I put that there, put some bling here, and I used a headband for the closure and put a little tiny doily and a button and a little piece of bling on there. And so that just takes that right off like that. Then I fixed the spine of the binder with some trim that I had. I used this trim on the other journal that I shared earlier. And then I had this tassel, I think. This came from an old purse that I've had, so it was just perfect for here. And of course, that's removable. So I can take that off and put it back on with that little clip. And then I used some real pretty black lace for inside. And I did that also for the back part of the journal. And put that there. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into this journal. This was really nice because it already had with it some really neat dividers. And they were the same color as this. Perfect. So I used those also in here, and I'll show you how I did that. Well, here's the 3-ring binder. And then on the first page, I just found this cutout of this typewriter, and it said, "Oh, hello, hi, hello there." So I thought that's kind of cute at the beginning. So I put "This book belongs to." This is where you would put your, whoever gets the journal can put their name. And then this was a little side tuck here. And this was a little postcard that I had probably on a cutout sheet somewhere. And then I just put it on this paper to make a journaling card out of that. Covered the inside with this black and white, different kinds of patterned craft paper. And then I started out with the first page. I made a little corner tuck here and made that into 2 pocket, and that's an old playing card. And this is beautiful, beautiful white lace rose trim that I was able to find. I just love that. And then this is some real pretty black and white flowered craft paper. Now, one thing about it, when you use these 3-ring binders, you need to use these little reinforcers around everything, because everything will tear if you don't. So I did that. And then in this pocket, I made this tag, journaling tag with some paper that I'd probably cut from a magazine. And then this little inside frame came from a Stampin' Up! Magazine. And then I used a little Tim Holtz cut out the little boy with his dog there, and that one. And then here's some more flowers that came from the Stampin' Up! Magazine. And put them, that really made a nice tag for this part of the journal. So put that in there. And then next page is craft paper and another cutout frame to journal on, and the story begins. I always put my stamp there. And then this page is actually it's 2 little pages. These are smaller because I had them for the other journal, but the other journal got so fat that I had to move ephemera to this one. So this is some of that houndstooth ribbon, cotton ribbon, with some really neat craft paper. And this is the inside of a junk mail envelope. I just love the way that black and white comes out there, and a little cutout and a another tag with butterflies. I think those butterflies came from Stampin' Up! Magazine. I'm pretty sure they did. And then the next page also, on the other side, is a little pocket that you make from a circle. You actually do a round circle, and then you fold it in this way and fold it up, and then the other little parts come around this way. So they make little pockets there on the side, but I didn't put anything in those. And then this makes I leave this open for a tag in the back, and then I think I put a little journaling card there. And then this pocket, I put this little tiny tag, but you can do anything you want with those. And then this page was an actual envelope that I got from a thrift store that had the envelopes to go with it, and they had mustaches on them. I used one of those in the other black and white journal that I showed. These have these little tags in them. They're really cool with the mustache. And I just put this little saying on there, if friends were flowers, I would pick you. And put some of those little flower decorations. So that's a nice journaling card. That goes back into the tag board sleeve. That really was nice, that's stationery. And then some black rickrack to trim. On the other side, I have made this is a large altered playing card that I had just collaged all these different pictures and stuff on, and a little bit of washi tape too. And then I made this little pocket, looks like a steampunk, and put another cutout and a clock picture, and then I stuck this tag down in there on that pocket. Oops, put that in there. Okay, and then here's a journal page. This is some black and white paper that I had from another journal that I found, and I just loved it. So I've used this in both of my black and white journals I've done so far. And then this is some lace, more journaling there. Now this is a faux envelope that I made out of a large magazine picture. I saw this on Treasure Books, and I left the top of this envelope open, and inside I made this little round kind of a fun piece with a brad that you can journal on the back of that, but it's just a fun thing that you can twirl around and however you want, but it looks really like an optical illusion, and I love this paper. Then you open this little envelope up. There's a little puzzle piece holding that. That's my whole closure. And since it's a faux envelope, I made it into a journaling spot inside. Use washi tape around and put little cards here. There's a piece of a crossword puzzle and so on. It made that into a writing spot. But this was all one big long magazine picture. And if you watch Natasha on Treasure Books, she has a video about making these envelopes. And then, I love this trim here. This was roses. They're like three-dimensional roses with netting on them. Beautiful trim. Then this page, this is a really cool picture that I cut out of a magazine. It looks like a chalk drawing of a lady or a girl. And I left that open at the top and made that into a little pocket. And in that, I put a large journaling card. This could be a coloring card. Every day is a new beginning. So you can journal, it's like a postcard. You can color those. That would be real pretty to have some bright colors in this black and white. And then here's a little journaling card. And then these I love these cards I found at a thrift store. They were all about dogs. They said positively historical. Actually, it should be hysterical, because these dogs are all dressed up in different to be different characters. Like they had a George Washington dog. This is an astronaut dog here. But I thought those black and white colors went well with this journal. But those dogs are just darling. I have used those playing cards for ephemera in so many journals. Okay, then this is one of the dividers that came with the book. This is what I'm telling you about. See how this is like a tag board, And I just took, they had different like recipe things here, like fruits and vegetables and that kind of stuff. And I just covered those over with a tab. And then I made another one of those circle fun interactive pieces with a doily and a cut out from Stampin' Up! And a little flower. And then I put a brad on there. And I made this into a journaling spot. So you can turn it this way. This is so much fun. I get all these ideas from Natasha, a lot of them. Well, other people too, but I love Natasha on Treasure Books. She has the coolest, neatest ideas. But look at all those places you could do secret journaling and put it back under there. See, like this. Be so cool. And then just tie it back in there. And then on the back of that, I found some more little cutouts. This was also from a magazine picture, but it's just like this big long thing in the middle of this white. So I thought, wow, that would be kind of cute to put something on either side of that. So I made these little flowers stems coming out from that big stem. Used a lot of inside of black and white, inside of business envelopes, the junk mail envelopes with the window, have the neatest background paper. And I love to use that in black and white. And then these little blurbs where you can journal on were from a Stampin' Up! Catalog to show you what kind of stamps that you can buy from Stampin' Up! And if you ever go to the store, get those Stampin' Up! Catalogs if you find any, because they have lots of neat stuff to cut out for ephemera. All right, the next small little page has a black and white ribbon trim. And this was just a little pocket. It was already a little pocket that was already this color and everything. I think I found it somewhere. And then I put this flower on it, the three-dimensional flower, and added a tag and another tag. This is a tag that one of the ladies makes, that she makes tags. She's an artist, Rhonda Binkley, and this is one of her fancy tags that I got to put in there. She has a little booth over in Chillicothe, Ohio at the American Vintage Warehouse, and she sells the most gorgeous handmade paper stuff. I mean, cards, tags galore. So if you ever get a chance to go to Chillicothe, check out the American Vintage Warehouse on Water Street. But anyway, the next page is a little, this was just like a folded up envelope. I was going to have this open up, but this got glued down. I thought, well, I'll just leave it like that. Make it into a pocket. You could have opened that up and had another pocket in there, but apparently this got glued. But anyway, I made that top right there, the pocket. And then I see a lot of this done on Pinterest when I'm looking up tags. This is just a little black and white butterfly, and then you put the girl in there, and it looks like she's the butterfly. And then I spelled out fly with some black and white letters I had, or black letters. And this page is another one of those little pockets. And this time I used a piece of vellum and just made like a sliding tag with a bull pen or ball pen or whatever they're called, and a little charm there, a little gold charm. Okay, then this is some really cool black and white trim that I found at a thrift store. And then this is a bingo card, and I just left the top open and put a Tim Holtz character. You can buy the Tim Holtz, just the top part of the people, women and men, and they're really cool to use on different projects. And then I've got a tag in there that I had this plain tag, and I just decorated it up with some washi tape and a picture cutout, and left that open for a pocket. And then these cards are from some kind of a game. I don't know, but they were letter cards, and I thought, well, black and white. So B&W went in there. And then this is another journaling spot. It's Your Day with some really pretty black lace. More journaling on that side. Now this side is an envelope at the top with a, I think this is a, hidden paper clip. And that holds this envelope on, so you can use that for anything you want. Journal on the back of it, you could put memorabilia in there. And then the bottom is a fold around envelope that goes that I folded a long envelope. It's a junk mail envelope with a window, and decorated it up, and it goes to the next side and makes another pocket. So over here is the pocket from this side, and there's the window. And inside that pocket, I put this, there's a journaling card, but there's also this little tiny envelope that I had found before, and it had a little card in it that said, just a little note. So there you go. There's more journaling. And this is just cut out, use your circle punch and cut out circles from playing cards where they make good decorations, and this made a closure because they're kind of, thick the card is, so it makes it a nice closure. So that goes in there. And then this on top of here. And on the other side was the other part of the envelope. Now, what was nice about these envelopes, they already had this decoration on them from something I had got in the mail, but it looked like Pinocchio and some little animals was on there. So I just left that in postage paid. I left that part blank, but then this had writing on these two parts. That's why I covered them over. But here's again the Pinocchio and the little animal, and it looks like a little fox and some hearts. And then I used this beautiful, I love this trim. I still have a good bit of this, so I hope I don't use it up because I really, really love it. It's little flowers. I've used this in winter journals for snowflakes and spring journals for flowers and everything. Then this was just a little tag from and to, probably from a gift. And I put that little bunny sticker on there, black and white bunny sticker, and that goes in there. And then this is from probably another magazine, an old alphabet. That is a journaling card. I'll put that up here in the top. And then this is a piece of black and white washi tape. This is a gorgeous picture from a magazine. All this black and white. I found this whole section in a magazine of lots of black and white, so I've used that in both journals. And that is a fish bowl. And those are two fish in there. So that is a really, really cool picture, and I love the texture and feel of it. And so I used another part of that magazine, and it had these pillows with the black and white checks and polka dots and the black and white tiled floor and so on. And this real pretty piece of bright green up there to go with this black and white. And then here's another one of the little dividers that was already in here. So I have notes, doodles, etc. And you can either draw on there, or you can write notes, or you can journal there. And then another one of my tabs to cover that, whatever was on, writing was on there. And then this is a waterfall, sort of a fold-down waterfall thing that is a journaling space. It says, won't you come into my garden? Okay, and then this, you flip this up, and there is a journaling space, just a note. Again, that's from Stampin' Up. And Beauty in Nature is the next page. And then there's another place to journal. And here is some mushrooms I put on this one to decorate it. Flip that one up. And I put washi tape in between there too. Another journaling spot. This is some craft paper that had these black cats hiding in there. I love that. And then this is another little journaling spot, just a note. And it says Guardian Angel. She's the garden angel. And this is like you're in the garden with the bird bath and bird and all that. And I'm pretty sure these from Stampin' Up. I'm just positive, and probably even that. Probably all those pictures were from Stampin' Up an old Stampin' Up magazine. Again, this is just a line, and there's a clothesline there, more journaling space. And then here's the last one was Flutter. And there's butterflies and great big giant dragonfly, like it's in the garden. So I loved making that little waterfall thing. That was fun. And again, you can find those online, how to make these waterfall things. You can make them out of envelopes too, and that makes a nice one. All right, now this one is Think Happy Thoughts. Again, more journaling with some white lace. And I just use pieces of corners of craft paper, and they decorate stuff really well. You can even do all four corners, and it makes it really look cute. Or you can make tucks, make them bigger, and then have tuck space. Now, this is an envelope that I had these envelopes with this beautiful design on them, and they had a great big pink, bright pink flap, but I covered part of that one up and used this lace that looks like from a spider web. This sort of looks like Halloween. I love that lace. Don't have very much of that left. And put it on photos. keep the memories, remember fun times. And again, there is a little holder there, keepsakes, so that you can put in your own memorabilia in here, whatever you get, ticket stubs or notes or cards or anything, pictures, anything else you want to put in there. And on the back of that, I used a little pocket. And this one was one of those ones that you fold up, triangular like, and then you flip it back over and it makes a cute little pocket. And in that I found this zebra card, white and black, from a Child's Game. Love to look for Child's Game cards. And then this is another one of my little inside of the window envelope. Just cut that down and it makes like a little specimen card. And I made that into a little journaling spot. That's a lot of fun to do. Like for slides, look like a slide. And then this one is some more craft paper that I found. And I found this stamp at a thrift store, and I love it. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. I love that. And then this I found is some of that little ball, or whatever it's called, trim. And this black and white little balls. I just love that too. And use that on that page. And then I found this mason jar in a magazine. It was black and white. It says, always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. And I made that into a tuck space or pocket. Again, I used some more of those corner pieces of craft paper. And then I did this collaged card with some washi tape and a picture out of a magazine. And again, I think this was old crossword puzzle I found in a magazine, and I used that too. And then made that into a journaling card. Okay, then this page is, this is a sticker, a feather sticker, some black and white checked ribbon, and this is another one of those that you fold over on both sides. And I'm pretty sure Natasha had this in one of her things, where you fold the paper and then you fold it over. It's on the same side. This is on this side to make three pockets, and it's on this side to make three pockets. But anyway, in this one, I put a little journaling card with butterflies in that pocket. I don't think I made that into one. You could probably make three pockets there if you wanted to. I think I just used this as a trim. And then this pocket up here. Oh, this is a little notebook. I made this little notebook and put some of these sheets in it for journaling. And put that in there. And on the other side is another one of my feather stickers. And inside this pocket, and this pocket down here, again, see how that folds around? It was one big sheet of paper folded, and then when you fold it in the middle, you drape it around your page and make all these different pockets. And here's another little tag that I made from, I think these were from Stampin' Up. It shows you about borders that you can get in stamps. But if you cut those out, look how cute that makes for a tag if you just put them on there like that. Okay, then here is a tag that I made, and I made a little belly band there. It says just a note, and then that opens up like an accordion. And you have a places to journal. Again, these are the insides of the window junk mail envelopes. Look how cool those patterns are. It's fun to see how many you can find in your junk mail, different ones. And they come in blue too. So if you want to do something in blue, you can. And then on the other side is some more little pockets. Says just hello there. That was like the typewriter at the beginning of this book. And then put that back together like that and put it back in here. So that makes a nice tag. And then here's another journaling spot with the live every moment. I've got it to stamp, laugh every day. More different kind of white lace. Some more of your different pieces of black and white. I think this came from a quilt book. And then this came from a, this butterfly paper, I loved it. This came from a sewing magazine, or was one of the ones for embroidery or something. But anyway, crocheting maybe. And I cut the black and white out on that and made it into this little kind of like booklet thing. Well, you can open that up. And there's one of those. I used one of these in the other black and white journal I did. These are old ladies' purses. They were little note cards. And so that makes a nice place to journal. And then this was some old vintage wrapping paper. And I loved it with these old automobiles on it with this gold and black in here. I thought that just went so well in this. And then this is some other ribbon that I had with little white lace, a trim on it. And then this is another one of the tags that the girl, Rhonda Binkley makes. She's an artist and sells. And so I always buy her tags when I go in there because they're very reasonable. I mean, like she sells 4 and 5 or 6 tags in the thing for a couple bucks. They're beautifully made. And I love this one. It had the gold in it too, with the black and the white. So I put that in the eyeball. All right, so here we go. This is another journaling spot that I found. I love that border on it. Magic Moments. And then this is a bow that is made from book pages and just decorations. And this is another one of Natasha's paper clips that you can put on things. And there's a 3 Black Cat game card that I found in another game set. And then this is a photo sleeve that has been clipped in here. And then this is where you can put your own photographs. But I always cut all these things out of magazines. And then I can use them in here. And even cut that piece of paper out. It looks like a film strip. And again there. And picture this. So there's 2 places for photos there. Plus, another one of the dividers. You could put a photo there. And so I had that clipped in on this page with this bow. I'll put all this back later. And then on the other side of that, more washi tape. And then this is one of the 3 envelopes put together, fold downs. And all of these little black and white images are from Stampin' Up! Magazines that are just cut out, fussy cut it out. And they're beautiful on these gray envelopes that I already had. I think these gray envelopes I had bought somewhere at a thrift store. And they had a little window there, and I covered that up with all the decorations. But they made perfect to go in this black and white journal. And each of these has a little journaling type card in it that I put in one of these. Today is a good day for a good day. And then those fold back up, and then I left the top open again for a tuck space or pocket. And this looks like an eye chart, but it says enjoy the little things. I love that. And here's another little card that I already have. It's probably a gift card. And I put that in there and that in there. And then another, another journaling spot. May your day be wonderful. And here is some black, white, and gold rickrack. And now this page is one of my favorites. This is what I was telling you about the envelopes that you can make into a waterfall look. But these are old opera stars. And I just love opera. This is kind of like my page because in college, I studied opera and I was in the opera workshops at Capital University and Ohio University. As a matter of fact, I did the role of the Countess in The Marriage of Figaro at Capital University. And in 1976, I did the role of Madame Butterfly at Ohio University. And that was really a thrill, let me tell you. So anyway, these are old pictures I found in a book of these opera stars. So I made this large card here, and on the back is a word search that says famous operas. That is fabulous. So if any music lover would love this book, it would be great. Anyway, this is all these old people like Alma Gluck. I've never heard of, probably from the 20s and 30s. Carmen Malise. Lucretia Borgia. I've heard of her before, Lucretia Borgia. And then this is, the envelope says opera on it. Cut those out of those letters out of a magazine. And then the art of music. And then again, here's 2 more stars and a little journaling card up here. Look at that. I love that. She's very bohemian looking. And And I think I had another little one in there, Rita Fornia. Maybe there wasn't any more in there. Okay, then that envelope flips up. And I put some washi tape in there. And that left this envelope open for some more stars. Music is life. And then the next envelope, oh, look at these people, this hair. Geraldine Farrar. Now, I know I've heard of her before. And then this is Music is Love in Search of a Word. Decorated all that up. This was a little, just a note, a journaling card in that envelope. And I love that rose. Just made that splash of color. And then this was some men opera stars at the end. Antonio Scotti. Now, it seems to me like I've heard of him before. And then that was the last one. And put a couple things in there. A little music thing to journal on. Music paper. So, that was a fun thing to do. This is kind of like a very eclectic black and white journal. I just, whatever I wanted to put in it. But mainly all black and white. That's supposed to fit in there a little better, but it's okay if it sticks out. And again, that was all on one of those dividers. Now, here's another one of Natasha's ideas that I used. She called this a folder of pockets. So I just collaged all this black and white stuff on the front, stamp, lady's picture, pieces of the old inside of the envelopes, and piano, all kind of stuff. And then what you do is you make this into pockets. And there's a way, and she did it on her video. And then each one of these has a journaling card in it. So each pocket opens up and has a journaling card. So I put this back. And then the next one, you could put something in it if you wanted to, or you could make this into writing spots. I didn't this time. This is another one of the cards, journaling cards I made. And then that's a pocket there. This is a whole book of pockets. It's so neat to make this. It's kind of tricky though. And then that opens up. Again, you could put journaling there if you wanted to. And then this is another journaling card I did. I had fun making all these journaling cards. It's black and white. I just went to town on it. I loved it. And there's the last one. And I don't think I had anything in that one, because it makes 1, 2, 3 pockets on this one. Anyway, pocket folder or whatever you want to call that. And then the next page is just a corner pocket with some more opera stars that I had. You Make Me Smile. And this was a cotton type of lace. The next part was another one of the envelopes. I think I got the idea from Natasha. That flap opens up. And oh yes, you could put little things in this too, or I think. Yeah. So that's a music. Now this is a music. Yeah, these were music cards I got at a thrift store. All these composers. Verdi. This is Verdi. And there's a piano on the front with the rose. I got a whole pack of these different composers. And then this was a tag that I got. This might have been one of Rhonda's tags, but the tennis shoes, black and white tennis shoes. That was so cute. And then that opens up. And inside that is a pocket. And then there's another place you can journal. And I made this little tag with Tim Holtz paper dolls and some collaging there. This was already black and white, and I think there was gold down there too. But anyway, put that in there that one way, and then stick this up here in this. Okay, then here's a page that says notes, and this was for journaling. More black ribbon, and here are lace. Here we are at the end, unforgettable moments. And then finally, follow your heart with the black and white and the lace. So I hope you enjoyed that black and white journal, and I had fun making it. I think I've made enough black and white for a while, so I'll start on something else. I have to make a Western journal for a young lady from Ohio University that's going to go out to Arizona for a couple weeks as part of her college study. So I'm getting excited about making that little Western journal for her. So see you the next time. Keep junk journaling. Bye-bye.